So good evening, everybody. As you can see, we are celebrating the death anniversary, but in the same time also the birthday of Moses tonight. And we know that usually every Monday we meet here to discuss the portion of the week and what does that mean, and now we can get weekly inspiration for the week. And we know that in this week, as we're reading that section, it doesn't mention the name of Moses. It's actually the only section that the name Moses has not been mentioned. The question is, why would you read a section on his birthday that his name has not been mentioned, on his death anniversary his name has not been mentioned? More than that, nobody even know where he's buried. Nobody know. Nobody can find his place of burial. What is going on? I mean, we talk about the leader that lead people from the age 80 to age 120. Just think about it. Age 20, I mean, I don't think you will be in the mood to go ahead and leave Egypt into the desert and kind of hanging out with some people. It's not just people. I'm not trying to talk bad about them, but they were doing something very well. One thing they did very well, they were complaining. They were complaining. This is what we do. We gotta complain. We're gonna complain about this and about that this is good, not good enough. I mean, leader is not defined by being leader until there is a challenge. It can be a health challenge, it can be things not working. That's a leader. And now you overcome the challenge, and now you connect the people to something higher than you. That's what the leader is. Moses was able to pass all of those tests, and that's what makes Moses unbelievable. But we're not here just to give you History Channel lecture. We're here to make it more like a discovery thing. What does that mean for you? Why are we celebrating? Why am I lighting a candle for his name? Why is such an important night? Why we are here, and what can we get from it? This is what we need to focus on. We need to get something out of this night, because it's a very powerful night that can change your destiny. It can change your entire life. And if you do it right tonight, and you do it right tomorrow, your life will never look the same. Once you let that soul help you with your health, help you with your sustenance, help you with your relationship, help you with whatever you need help with. It's available tonight. It's opening. The gates are open, and every person can enter that gate. So let's talk a little bit about Moses, his life, a little bit history, so you know where he come from. So Moses basically was born in the 6 months to a mother, Yocheved. The whole birth is kind of a question, because I don't know if you know, the parents of Moses, Amram and Yocheved, were married once and they remarry again, which is by Judaism is forbidden. You cannot get divorced from a person and then remarry them again. So that by itself was already kind of weird. Amram basically was a nephew of Yocheved, so he married his aunt. Another thing which is question mark. So I don't want to tell you more, because then you're going to say, if they can do that, what about me, right? So the idea, this whole story, how Moses came about, it's kind of weird, which telling us, is that mean we're here to discuss the story or to discuss the meaning of that story? Because there is a meaning to that. What is Moses? Is Moses as a person, or Moses is meaning to give birth for something incredible? You got to look at that both ways. From the story point of view, which what we call pshat, the story happened. From the secret point of view, what we call the sod, it means that we are giving birth to something very powerful tonight. We are giving birth to Moses. It's not that his mother is Yocheved giving birth to Moses. It's not that his father Amram gave birth to Moses. We are giving birth to something special. But to give birth to something special, you have to be in a special situation. You have to think out of the box. How to give birth to something such a powerful as Moses. So from tonight on, by the way, from tonight on, like whatever you do tonight, whatever you do till tomorrow night, define how this year will basically play for you. What's going to happen to you? It's a quite important night, and you need to take advantage of it. Forgive me. The sushi is too salty. So we need to understand that. So from the story, if I continue the story, just from the story point of view, we are talking about, he was born in the 6 months. At that time, it was a decree that all the firstborn, or not the firstborn actually, all the boys has to be killed by the Egyptian. the Hebrew slave or the Jewish at that time had to hide the baby, or they had to get rid of the baby boys. And a lot of people had to die, unfortunately. The mother of Moses, together with his sister Miriam, decided to put him in a basket and put him in the Nile, which you say maybe that's going to work out, right? And they put him into the Nile. His name was not Moses, by the way. When he was born, his mother gave him the name Tuvia. That was his name, first name. And then the daughter of Pharaoh, which was the master not just of Egypt, he was the master of everything. Pharaoh was controlling the world at that time. It was everything that you can imagine. And by Pharaoh controlling the world, Batia is his daughter. She found him in the Nile, somehow adopted him. So he grew up like a prince. He grew up like a very important person. Now, why is that piece of information so important for us to know? Because try to imagine Moses is changing his path. He has everything. Moses had everything. He's second to Pharaoh. He's everything that a human being can imagine at that time. From the money, from the fame, from the power, Moses has it all. But what he does, he feels it's kind of a little bit unfair. Those Hebrew slave or Jewish slave, this is not a cool picture. I'm looking at that picture and this is injustice. So he stay authentic to his goal. He stay honest to his mission. And he say, yeah, maybe I got it right, but everybody else didn't. I don't think that's the way life should go. This is such a beautiful thing. A decision of a leader is not when you want to do good. It's when your good you're doing will benefit everybody else. And might be that you will put your life in danger, but everybody else will make it. And I know it's very hard to find people like that today, that really sacrifice their life for the sake of others. The others will truly make it. That's what Moses was, tremendous and amazing. And that's the pshat. That's a simple story of Moses. And you know what happened? He's tried to save few people. He tried to help. And unfortunately, in the end, because he was so good, few people from his own people, from his own nation, unfortunately, snitch on him that he's a little bit too good. And when you are too good around too many bad people, it's time to quit. Everybody tried to kill you. He had to run away. He ran away to Ethiopia. Okay? Ethiopia is around below Sudan, if you know where it is. And from there, he had to go to the Midianite. And from the Midianite, he basically started to go on his mission to be a leader, what we call the mission of the burning bush. So this whole story of the Pshat is telling us about Moses and the reward that God is giving him. You know what the reward that God is giving him? God is telling him, you know, Moses, you've been a perfect human being. I never met a perfect human being like you. You're half angel, half human being. I'm going to give you two gifts. One gift, that when your death anniversary come and your birthday come, your name will not be mentioned in the Torah. Your name will be mentioned in every week portion beside your birthday. What kind of gift of that? Unfortunately, we look at life like when we gain more and we have more, that's a gift. When you get to a spiritual level, when you start to receive too much, you start asking yourself, am I receiving it from a selfish point of view? Am I receiving it because the universe want to give me? I always tell people, you know, when life going perfect, start look around you and make sure that this has come from above. When life going wrong, it's definitely come from above. You should be happy and let's study how to overcome it. So that's the story from a historical point of view. From the thought point of view, from the secret, let's look at that story as what does that mean for us. So Moses, born in the 6 months, going into the Nile, a lot of opportunity there. Look at your life tonight. What in your life look like a challenge? What is the challenge you're facing right now? Is your challenge look like health issue, money issue, relationship, things are not moving the way you want it? That's the birth of Moses for you. That's actually the birth of Moses. You don't know, it's the unknown area. You have no idea where you're going to go. The next thing, they give you some good things. Think about good moment in your life. Good moment that used to be there, great and unbelievable, but you had a lot of missed opportunity. You lost it, it's gone. That's the second life of Moses. Then the other part, What are you going to do about your life? Are you going to go back to Egypt, to the luxury and the perfect life, but leave it big but fake? Or you want to move on with your life, to do something real? It will be difficult to walk with those people into the desert. Make it really, really difficult. They're going to complain about you. They will never appreciate you. They actually will not even care about you, but you know you're doing the right thing. You got to ask yourself those questions tonight, because your life is very important for you. And if you want to make something serious with your life, we're not here just to get married, have kids, make some money, buy a house and a dog. This is not what life meant to be. Life meant to be for spiritual achievement. And if you start looking at life as a spiritual achievement, then you look at life in a very different eyes. You start opening yourself like, okay, what am I doing with my life? It cannot be that every day you go to work, make a living, take a shower, go to the bathroom. It cannot be that you're born to do only that. Cannot be. I mean, God is not creating you just to come here for a visit and do your thing and, okay, you did good, get out of here. Cannot be. I mean, we have to wake up. I know in LA, we live in LA, so it's difficult to see things that you see in New York. When you're in New York, you drive, let's say, from Queens, Brooklyn, Long Island, you see cemetery on the way. You always see a cemetery. You always see a different cemetery on the right, on the left. It's kind of a reminder, wake up. This is what everybody is dying to get into, right? It's a place that everybody's dying to get into, right? This is in LA, it's beautiful. Everything like golf course. You don't even know it's a cemetery. It's perfectly look. So you don't even have a wake-up call that something is wrong. They're doing construction site in LA. It's beautiful. They cover it with some beautiful pictures. You don't know how messy it is inside. It's just unbelievable. So when we think about the concept of our life, we must give a little bit more, I should say, attention or awareness into our spiritual growth. And spiritual growth is not just you're wearing a yarmulke or if you're a Christian cross or whatever your belief system is. Spirituality is more developing something within. Am I connected? And you can't stop your spirituality. It's when you drive, it's when you eat, when you drink coffee. It's all day long. It's just all day long. It's a practice. It's a practice of being nice. Being religious, it sounds good, but being religious is like having a relationship with God. God and you having a good time. What about the people around you? Who care? That's being religious. When you're being religious, it's you and God. There's no other people. How many people die in the name of religion? Do you even have a clue? How many people will die with the right justification because they're not religious enough? How many times religious people will judge non-religious people? Spirituality is a bit different. Spirituality is about your inner self. There is a soul inside of you. That soul is the most beautiful thing the divine created. You're going to find that connection between that soul to the divine. The way you do it is very simple. Yes, you want to pray. You want to be religious. But don't lose your spirituality. Don't lose that love the neighbor as thyself. Don't lose that test we all go into that test every day. People bother us. People eat in the wrong way next to us. They take our seat, they take our tea, the coffee, Starbucks or Coffee Bean, you order cappuccino, you're waiting at that side, you're looking for it, somebody took it, and instead of it, you end up with the iced cold tea that you don't want it. Why does that happen? Because this is opportunity to be spiritual. That's your Moses moment. That's your Moses moment. You can hold the book and pray all day long, and you don't have that Moses moment. Moses was spiritual. Moses was spiritual. That's what Moses is all about. Moses was not busy how me and God having a good time. Moses is one of those people who told God, listen, God tell Moses, I'm going to erase all these people and kill them all. Moses said to God, if that's so, I'm not part of this game. I'm done. I'm done here, right now. Who would say such a thing? I mean, think about it. Who would say such a thing to give your life for the rest of the people? That's spirituality. So tonight, you got to ask yourself one big question. Are you truly committed for spirituality? And that's the question. Are you committed? Commitment to spirituality is not happening when you are studying here with me. It's wonderful. We're sitting, we have some sushi time, nice light, atmosphere. It's cool. It's nice. I love to have you, and It's nice. Spirituality is all day long. It's at your place of work. It's a place of everything. It's at the place where you do your pray. Because when you do your pray, you can become selfish. You're basically using God for your own need. What are you asking God? Did you ever record your pray? Write your prayer on a piece of paper. Please God, I need a soulmate. Please God, I need health. Please God, I need some money. Please God, my neighbor bought a better car than me. Can I have that same car? So we sound pretty selfish. But if you ask God, let's talk differently, like Moses. If you say, God, I feel like I'm a little bit selfish. I'm not giving enough to my friend. I'm not kind enough to my neighbor. And I cannot forgive my father for whatever he did to me. Can you give me power to do so? That's spirituality. Now you talk of spirituality. That's called a Moses moment. We need to get to that level of understanding. And when we get to that level of understanding, things start to change automatically because you look at life differently. You look at life like Moses. So whatever Moses went through with the people of Israel, he suffered so much for 40 years. But he was not thinking for a second that something wrong with him. He looked at it like an opportunity for him to grow spiritually. And that's what I want to share with you. The last gift that God gave Moses, he said, I will hide your grave. Nobody will know where you bury. ולא נודע מקום קבורתו עד היום. Meaning, his place of burial is not going to be known to everybody. Now, why? What kind of gift is that? Moses was afraid that the respect that people give him after he died, that they will make him like kind of a god or angel. So he asked, please hide so nobody will find me. What kind of gift you getting to your birthday? Can you imagine you have a birthday party and you have no gift for your birthday party? Nobody come with a gift. Terrible feeling, right? No. People coming, everybody, you want to receive a box or wedding or something. You're waiting like, what's going on? And you're giving that face like that show, the funny show, what's the name? Larry Davis. Caribbean tourism. You give that face outside. What's that? Not a gift. Get out of it, right? So, you need to understand that this is how we train somehow that on our birthday, we're supposed to receive something. And it's not like that. It's the ability not to want it, not to want it. If you receive it, you receive it. But not to want it, and if it's come, it's come. And I'm not telling you that I'm in this place. I'm just talking about Moses tonight. So it does mean the speaker is putting myself a little bit even in the dust of what Moses is to walk on. I'm just the one who tells the story. So don't put me in a place like, wow. No, I'm not even close to that. So I'm just sharing that information so it can work for all of us. Now I would like to read a section from the Zohar, and I hope I put the note. Yeah. So the Zohar asks, בואו, come and behold. מה בין משה לשאר בני העולם? What's the difference truly between Moses to other people? What's the difference? Why is it such an important night that we need to tap into it? בשעה שאמר לו הקדוש ברוך הוא, when God spoke to Moses, ואתה הניחה לי. God tell to Moses, leave me alone. Can you imagine God talk to Moses, leave me alone? And I'm going to erase these people. I'm going to kill them all. Kill them all. ואזכה אותך לגוי גדול. And I will make you into a great nation. מיד אמר משה, what did Moses answer? וכי בשביל טובתי, אעזוב דינם של ישראל? For my own good, I will leave those people alone? What kind of thing is that? של ישראל ולא אבקש רחמים עליהם? So now when God is giving me everything I ever wanted, and all the people will be erased, and I'm not going to ask some mercy for them? Now people will look at me like what Noach did. Why is he mentioned Noach? Those of you who don't know the story of Noach, those of you who don't know the story of Noach, the story of Noach built the ark. And when he built the ark, he wasn't asking God to have mercy on the people. So if you see, some say that Noach reincarnated into the body of Moses. So Moses have a second chance, this time not to take that gift and just say, oh, I am wonderful. I am good. Let the people die. And from here we learn something very important about Moses and something about us. If you get a chance, there is a question. There is a question in the Jewish law. And the question goes like this, and you should think about it. The Jewish law said, you're not allowed to hurt your body. That's one of the Jewish law. You're not allowed to hurt your body. But the second Jewish law said, a person should not kill. You're not allowed to kill. Question being asked in the Talmud. The Talmud asks, what if somebody put a gun to your head and gun in your hand? Gun to your head, gun into your hand. What do? Because if you let them kill you, you're going against the law of you should take care of your body. If you kill another person, you go against the law of killing another human being. What do? The Talmud asked that question, right? 2,000 years ago. Did it ever happen? Of course. I don't know if you follow the history of the Nazi. It happened. They put gun into the people's head and they asked the person to kill one of their friends. What do? You're not allowed to be killed. That's against the law. You're not allowed to kill. It's also against the law. So what do? So there is a section in the Talmud that explains there is something that's called in Hebrew, Ya'areg ve'al ya'avor. Better to be killed and not to kill somebody else. Better to be killed, not kill somebody else. Moses was willing to be killed as many times as possible, but not for him to be killed and everybody else to be killed. He didn't care to be killed, that they will make it. The question for you tonight, guys, and it doesn't need an answer. It's a thought, guys. Maybe it's a two question, but I look at it as a one question. Is there is one thing that you're ready to die for? Is there is one thing in your life right now that you're ready to die for? Second question, which I think is the same, is there is somebody in your life that you ready to die for them so they will make it? Thank God we live in Los Angeles. Thank God everything is safe here and beautiful and unbelievable. Great harmony. Between the vegan and the yoga, we are doing well. Nothing can go ever wrong, right? Between doing the warrior, what do you call this thing? The warrior thing, to do the vegan sandwich, what can go wrong, right? So it's not exactly a place where you ask people. I told my wife I'm going to ask it, and I say, in LA it's very risky. New York can do well with that question. You don't want to do that. Can't disturb the vegan moment. So if you think about it, who are you? How far are you ready to fight for your own truth? And did we give up on our dream? Do you have a dream? Do you have something you believe in? And it's so important. It's really so important for the people. But you can either run out of money, run out of energy, run out of time, and kind of say, enough already, I'm taking care of people, it's time to take care about me. All of us going through that. Moses, in age 80, try to imagine, 80, that's when he started to become a leader. Till age 80, he was going around and helping people. Age 80, God say, you're the one. You know what he say? My brother is better speaker, forget about me. He won the job. You can say he was Pisces. And we know Pisces don't want to take the leadership. But it wasn't about that. He want everybody else to make it. You need to remember that. In life, you gotta have sacrifice, you gotta have investment. Those of you who are parents, you want your kids to make it, it gotta be investment. You have to make sure that your life is dedicated for them. They might see it, they don't see it, doesn't matter. But they have to make it, if you have kids. Those of you who are married, husband, wife, you want your partner to make it. You want your partner to make it. But if that means sometimes that you're gonna get less and they're gonna get more. It's not a fair party. Everybody looking for a fair party. Those of you are, in a relationship, starting a relationship, you gotta make some sacrifice. You want your partner to do better than you. That's the beginning of love. That's a Moses moment in every area of your life. Sometimes in your office there is competition. And sometimes people calling me, some of my clients, tell me, Eliyahu, I got opportunity to get a better position in my job. I say, how better? I say, I'm going to get $10,000 more a year. I say, is somebody losing because of you? I say, yes, 2 people are going to get fired. I said, is that worth for you? That $10,000 is so important that those 2 people are going to go? If it is, do it. I mean, if you're really desperate. But just think about your sacrifice. You have to think a little bit sacrifice for another human being. And tonight, I'm asking you, if you can, later or now, write down what are you willing to sacrifice in your life so somebody else will benefit. And it cannot be your birds or dog or cat. I'm sorry, I have a dog, so it cannot be for the sake of the dog. Okay, I'm not going to eat, so my dog will eat. It has to be with human being. I'm sorry for the bad news. But it has to do with the human being. Which human being will benefit because of you? What sacrifice are you willing to make that somebody else will make it? That's what we call a Moses moment. That's a spiritual moment of Moses. Unfortunately, a lot of time when you become religious, you forget about those things because you run on automatic. You don't think anymore. Whatever you pray, if you pray as Jewish 3 times a day, Christian, whenever you pray, Muslim, the 5 times a day, the Hindu, the chakra, the thing, everybody have their things. But in the end of the day, you are running on, I think, automatic pilot. You don't think anymore. Spirituality, you got to stop and ask yourself, what effort do I need to make for the sake of making sure somebody else will be benefited? Now, there's another section, and that will be a good time if you need a piece of paper. You can write it on the phone. I will not judge you to be texting anybody, so don't worry. Yeah, it's not a big deal. It's all good. It's all good. Remember. It's all good. Yeah. So the Zohar in section 888, that's a section. Teruma. Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, the person who wrote the Zohar, said, Moses never died. On a comment. שלמדנו אמר רבי שמעון משה לא מת. He didn't die. So what are we doing here tonight, right? ואם תאמר, הרי כתוב, וימת שם משה. But it's written in the Torah that Moses died. So why is Rabbi Shimon even say he didn't die? Not only that, he say, נתווסף לו חיים. Not only he didn't die, he actually extended his life to have longer life. So, what is Rabbi Shimon trying to tell us? That Moses never died. What is a death? If you think about the death, if you go deep into that subject, from a philosophical point of view, from a concept point of view, you know, sometimes when you don't see somebody for a long time, it's almost like they die. You no longer can communicate with them, can text, no phone, or nothing. I don't know how many of you ever have somebody dear to you gone. You know, basically, there is, in the usual tradition, there is a burial. And in the burial, you say goodbye. That's the last goodbye. It's a tough moment. And at that moment, you are basically, can talk to them. And the question, can they talk to you? Are we bury them or they bury us? I'm talking about from the curtain point of view. I don't know if you can imagine that. Like, when a person now going under the ground, is the reality happen there, or the reality happen on this side? Which side is reality? I just want you to see the point of view, what I'm talking about. And what Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai tried to tell us, that from Moses' point of view, people cannot handle his level of energy. Because if we continue to be in our frequency of reality, we will not be able to handle that type of energy. It's not in our level. A person like Moses reached something that's called unconditional love. Love everything. You cannot make him reactive. You cannot make him angry. When Korach, his cousin, tried to make him angry, to speak bad about him, the first thing Moses did was very simple. He fell on his face. People ask, why did he fall on his face? He was checking himself. Maybe I get hurt. Maybe he insulted me. Maybe he hurt my feeling. So he fell on his face to check his ego if something bothered him. And it's a very important thing to understand. So I just want to share this with you. I want to see if I have time. Great. I want to share with you another subject about it. But this is a very important time for you. Before I move on to the next subject, which is what's happening next week, I want you to just maybe take a moment to write down maybe your sacrifice. What are you willing? And I'm promise to give you 2-3 minutes. What are you willing to do for the sake of somebody else's life to get better? Not what are you willing to do that your life get better. What are you willing to do for somebody else's life to get better? Just either write it down, either if you want to memorize it. I prefer that people write it down or put it in a phone. Take 2 minutes. Just when we changed the room, a lot of crowd came. What are we going to do? Maybe we keep the room this way. We did a lot of shooting today. We shoot 19th lecture today. Yeah. Early morning. Thank you, my friend. See you tomorrow.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
It's gotta be Rob. I got a feeling this Rob making that noise. Do you hear it? People in New York? I have a guy named Rob here. That's usually what he does. Makes some noise. Don't know what to do about it. They hear you? This guy.
Hear me and feel me, guys.
Anybody has a question about Moses before I'm shifting gear into something very powerful? So, that's your water?
It's yours.
Very nice.
I'm your water.
Oh, you're the water? What's happening? I'm running empty. What's going on? Suffering here. What kind of water carrier man you are? I'm a water carrier. You good? Can we continue? Tony, I didn't see you came. Somebody, your friend was here. Yes, you were looking for you. He just came. Funny. Where was I? I put the glasses on. Okay. Okay. Yes. Faye, I have a question. Please respect and listen so we all can hear the answer.
You said Moses was half human, half angel. From the beginning he was like that, or he transformed?
Great question. Great question. Was he born that way or not? I want to answer, I don't know. I don't know based on the information. The place that he mentioned that Moses was half human, half angel is before he died. Before he died, he said the verse, "Lo uchal latzet velavo." I cannot come in and I cannot go out. He was in between that world. So Moses never thought that he was special. The reason he didn't think he was special because he said to God and to the people, the reason I am who I am, because basically God put that soul inside that body. That's why I am who I am. From a Kabbalah point of view, it came from something called Da'at. Da'at is a Sephirah of Da'at, which means he achieved the highest level a human can ever achieve. No human can get to that level. If you know the 5 levels of the soul, Nefesh, Ruach, Neshama, he was in Chaya. Chaya is a quite high level. Yechidah is the highest level to connect to Keter. That happened with the Mashiach come, with the Messiah come, that we're all going to be in Yechidah. Moses was a single person who achieved that level. Of course, the one who extended him to continue his job was Rabbi Shimon. So Rabbi Shimon was a spark to continue when he did Tikkunei HaZohar. That's why it's so important for me personally, Tikkunei HaZohar, because Tikkunei HaZohar is the continuation of Mount Sinai. The reason I took you there to Pekin, because that's almost, we don't know how to do it. It's a teleport to the moment of Sinai. It's the same place. So it's the same exact place. We are not at that level. Even the Ari said how to do it. But he say to use all kind of things that I don't want to use. Pretty scary. You know, you get wrong, you find yourself in Egypt as a slave. Don't want to make any mistakes. So he write exactly how to teleport yourself. But he tell you, if you think that might happen, you know what, maybe next time. So was he born that way? He definitely had the potential, but he was using his potential. And I think sometimes when I look at myself, I also born with some potential. Am I using all my potential? No. Potential has to do with negative thing that you have to be stopped doing, and positive thing that you should do with excitement. Moses never stopped. I mean, when you look at his life, he did few mistakes with hitting the rock instead of talking to the rock. But even then, those of you who studied deep enough what happened, he was worried that if we do it right, nobody will make it. Because he said, I'm at such a high level, I can do it. But what about the people with me? If the people with me will never make it, it's not worth it. Let me be the one who do the mistake and stay in their level, than me getting in and all of them die. That's a sacrifice. That's a sacrifice. And it's we have to start looking at the opportunity in our life. And sometimes we think more is more. But sometimes when you have quality, life is better. And there is a story that comes to my mind as I'm talking to you about it. And the story it's a funny story. Is the student of the Baal Shem Tov asked him one time, can you tell us why you always laughing before you holding the wine? Every time the Baal Shem Tov used to hold the wine, he started laughing, and then he put the cup. And one Shabbat, he was a little bit laughing like hysterical. And usually Rabbi don't laugh like that. Rabbi is serious, tough. He's laughing, because Baal Shem Tov was spiritual. It wasn't just religious, it was spiritual. So he's holding the cup and he's laughing, put it back, and he's laughing. In the end of the Shabbat, one student was strong enough and have a chutzpah enough to say, Rabbi, why you were laughing? So you really want me to tell you? I said, yes. So okay. Next Shabbat, next Saturday, I'm going to take you to the place where I saw what I saw. I'm going to teleport you there. So the way they used to teleport themselves, instead of using the name, they used to have 4 horses and a large wagon, and they were sitting there and they're saying different name, and then the wagon and the horses teleport itself to wherever they want. So beautiful. And they arrived to this house. And as they arrived to this house, the Baal Shem Tov look at the student and say, you have to promise me not to laugh loud. Whatever you see, you cannot laugh. They promised, don't worry about it. They see in front of them, very old house, like a shack. It wasn't even look like a house. Very poor people. And they see the husband came back from the Friday night pray, and it's just 2 of them, 2 people hanging together. And the father, not the father, the husband, walking into the house, and he kissed the wife, said, oh, what a wonderful to be with you. I'm so glad that I'm married to you. And he said, just because you're in my life, I want to dance with you. That's what I say. Ishti kirati boi nerkod. That's what he say. And they start dancing around. There were always 2 of them. There's nobody there. And then he sit table, time to eat. And he said to his wife, dear wife, what are we eating? He said, honey, first we start with the fish. And all what they have is 1 pot, full with beans. She take this long spoon made of wood, stick it in there, put it on the plate, put for herself, put for him, they sit together. She gave him the beans. And he looked at it and said, wow, now that's a fish. He tested and said, I tested many fish in my life, as you know it, honey, but that fish is special. So before we are celebrating eating it, we need to dance. So they dance around the table again. And then they sit together. So what's coming next? The next thing is the soup. Oh, there's only beans there. To get another spoon of beans, put it in the bowl. He tastes the soup, even makes some noise like there is water. Oh, now that's good. And they dancing and they're imagining like the richest people in the world. And then she give him a beans again. Said, now I make you the steak the way you like it, okay? Well done. He always asks me, that's a well done. And he's eating it, and he's enjoying it, they dancing. At that moment, the Baal Shem Tov, the student knocking on the door. Now you need to know, if I tell you the Baal Shem Tov is like saying, I don't know, the most important person you can imagine knocking on your door. You get a knock. You're opening the door and you see that person at the door. And he look at his wife, and they were worried maybe they did something really bad by dancing, by imagining that they are rich, or And the husband look at the wife, and they look at each other, and they look at the Baal Shem Tov and say, did we do something wrong? I mean, you know. So no, the opposite. He's laughing. So what you did was so powerful. And I want to tell you, since the 2 temples were destroyed, the angels are looking for such a love like between 2 of you. And they couldn't find people who are finding love in everything. You capable of finding love in everything, even in a lima bean, and even in a bean, you find the love. And because of that, you reach such a high level, almost like Moses. I said, thank you, Rabbi. I said to him, in heaven, they ask you for a question. I see that you don't have children. You can either ask me for a blessing that you can have kids, or I can make you the richest people in the world. And they look at each other, and they're smiling and say, we're okay with the beads. Let's be we can continue with the beads. Kids will be okay. And they actually, it's a true story, by the way, and they have a son, and they name him after the Baal Shem Tov. Yeah, Rabbi Israel, they call him Rabbi Israel. So what I'm trying to tell you that a lot of time, we want thing we don't have. And wanting the thing they don't have, not necessarily will make you happy eventually. There is things which are small, but has meaning into it. And if we not start to look for meaning, and I know we're living in the toughest time, because in our generation, everything is about luxurious, that you get the new phone, the new car, the new shoes, the new jeans. It never stops. The competition never stops. It's very difficult to make it. Nobody will, if somebody see you dancing with the beans, you're going to be going to hospital. You know? So we are living in a time which is more difficult than they did. 300 years ago, it was easy to be poor because, But in our time, people think it's easy time now. No, it's the toughest time now, because physicality becomes powerful. Physicality becomes so powerful that you cannot practice spirituality in a full capacity. It's very difficult. Respect yourself. So every moment of spirituality you make, it's more than all of them made in their life. You need to start to appreciate yourself. I see sometimes people beat themselves up. Oh, we are so far away from Moses. We're so far away. If Moses will be here, how much would he respect you for even showing up, for even coming? Because we live in such a materialistic, physical world. It's impossible to find even 5 minutes to be really spiritual. So if you find 5 minutes, 20 minutes, 1 hour here to be with us and do some lecture about spirituality, about Moses, that by itself, it's an achievement. Give compliment to yourself. Every time that you forgive someone in our generation, you did something like Mount Sinai. Every time that you able to write letters to somebody that annoying you and you can't stand them and you actually forgive them, you did like you wrote the Zohar. Because in our time it's difficult. In our time to be kind is difficult. Respect yourself for that. You gotta give credit to yourself. Because lately I have a lot of people who calling me, say, what's wrong with me? What's wrong with you? I said, nothing wrong with you. You are living in the toughest galut, in the toughest exile that exists. The Zohar say about our time 2,000 years ago. The Zohar said about this time, say, in our time, whoever will be capable to be spiritual 1 hour a day, consider a righteous person. 1 hour a day. Try to imagine, you did good today, right? You came here, you have 1 hour a day, you're already righteous. So all of you are already righteous. Just understand the power of being spiritual in our generation. I know that a lot of time, spiritual leader or religious leader can be sometimes tough on people and say, you should do this, there's something wrong with yourself. And it's never good enough. It's because they tough on themselves, because they feel they don't do enough, and then they're tough on the people. But the truth of the matter is, it's not about being tough on the people. You should get credit for achieving what you achieve. That's it, you make an effort tonight, you park the car, difficult to find parking, Uber or whatever you did, it's difficult. All that effort count. All that little thing count. Everything you do little bit count. Whatever you do, count. Please respect yourself for that. And make sure when you see other people struggling on the spiritual journey, but they do one thing, that's an achievement. That's wow, unbelievable. If you have friend or family or children, they did one thing, one little thing, that by itself is an achievement. And I don't see it happening enough in our generation. People can be tough on each other. You don't do enough, you don't do enough. You do more than enough. Every little action that you do, that counts. Now, I want to talk to you about another thing that's happening. We know we are in the month of Adar, the month of Pisces. This is the month that a person must see the good in themselves. This is 1 month that a person must see what's good about you. What does that mean? The Kabbalists explain that there is 2 holidays. One called Purim, happening exactly next week. Is it next week on Monday night? Monday night. Next week, Monday night, when we get drunk and we read the Megillah and all this and that. So it's an easy holiday. But the other holiday that has almost the same name, called Kippur. This is called Purim next week. Kippur. A big difference. So the Talmud asks, why they have a similar name? One is called Kippurim. Kippurim means like Purim, as if it is Purim. What you're doing at Kippurim, you're fasting, you're praying non-stop for 25 hours, and that's Kippurim. It's almost like you look at people, they're suffering. And what you need to do at Kippurim, to look inside what's wrong with you. Beat your heart, what's wrong with me? Hey, I did this, I did this, I did that. You're coming to Purim, what are you doing in Purim? Nothing. You're basically doing nothing. You have some custom, you're eating, you give some charity for Evyonim, for different things that you gotta do, and you get drunk. You have to get drunk. You have to get drunk on Purim. Have to. You know, not get drunk that you're throwing up, but get drunk that you don't know the difference between good and bad. Why? Why is that? Why is that you don't know the difference between good and bad? So the idea is like that. The idea is like this. Please listen, it's very important. Not knowing the difference between good and bad, meaning that you get to a stage where your bad side is no longer look bad to you. Your bad side is now good. You don't hate yourself anymore. You got to reach in the level in Purim that you love yourself. You got to reach to that level. That's next week. And if you are doing all the work and you didn't reach that level, why drinking is so important? Because when a person drink to a certain level, busemeh, the Gemara said in Megillah, the Talmud in Megillah said busemeh, meaning the person has to kind of feeling that his head is heavy. That's what the explanation say. Your head is heavy, like you don't know where you are. You got to get to that level. And when you get that level, you have to assign a friend next to you, and he's going to ask you, do you know the difference between Haman and Mordechai? Haman is the bad guy in the Megillah, and Mordechai is the good guy. You have to assign somebody before. And then they come to you and say, do you know the difference? What does that mean? Haman represents the negative side of yourself, and Mordechai represents the good side of yourself. You got to get to a place where you don't see no more the difference. That you know that doesn't matter how much effort you make to do bad, and how much effort you make to do good. The Creator eventually will redeem you from that negativity of yourself. Because a lot of time, we start to believe, I can overcome it. And every year you promise, every Rosh Hashanah you come with some list. I'm going to change 1, 2, 3, and 4. And you promise yourself, maybe you last for 20 days. 20 days after Sukkot, and then you go back to the same thing. I don't think I can make it. And then you hate yourself. Why you hate yourself? Because there is an evil side in you that's telling you shame on you, right? But because the evil side works in such a beautiful way. Look at the evil side. First, he convinces you to do bad. Then he convinces you to change. He's the one who convinces. Then he telling you, shame on you, you didn't even change. But you should answer your evil side. I'm 70% okay. I am. 30% not okay. I know that. I'm trying here. I'm trying, I'm fighting, and every time I'm going to erase some negativity, I'm going to do better. It's step by step, I'm going to do better. That's my 30%, I got to do better. On Purim, when you come to Purim, you got to get into a level where you see you're 70% good and you love it. That's what you celebrate on Purim. So for that reason, in the month of Pisces, in the month that Moses was born, the month that Moses left this world, you got to do the Purim. People do the Purim almost like a tradition, historical event. You're going to do the Purim with Kavanah, with meditation. When we read the Megillah here, when we read the scroll, what is Megillah? Again, the word Megillah means legalot. Legalot means to reveal. You're revealing the energy. If you want to know the name of the energy, it's called Yesod Abba. You're revealing a certain energy that never revealed in any time of the year. Not on Shabbat, not on Pesach, not on Rosh Hashanah, not on Yom Kippur. Actually, never. It's only revealed on Purim. That energy is so powerful that it can redeem you from any problem that you might have. Yes, with us, we're going to have music and drink and all this and that. That's not the purpose. That's the costume. That's, the Order Chasadim. This is the how you present it. But the kavanah, the thought, if to do it right, you have to do it with that kavanah. I'm here to find the good side of myself, and I'm here to keep it forever, and that's how it's going to stay for the rest of the year. That's why in the Talmud and in the Midrash, it says that in the end of time, we're only going to stay with one holiday, Purim. It's kind of weird. You thought we would stay with one holiday, Rosh Hashanah. No, nothing. Nothing will stay beside that, only Purim. Does that mean that we're all going to be drunk and with costume and we dance, and drink? What is that all about? There's more to it than that. That means in the end of time, we're all going to be able to find the good side of ourselves. And for that reason, what do you do on Purim? You're supposed to send gift to one another. And in the gift, you're supposed to have at least minimum 3 cookies. Minimum 3 cookies. You basically make a little plate and you start sending it to people you love. Why is that? Because that's your extension of your goodness. You go with your extension of goodness and you're chasing it. My kids last year saw me that I have cash in my pocket, to give charity. And they say, why today? What's so special? I say, it's written that you extend your generosity on this day is very powerful. Why? Because at that day, there is all the goodness of yourself come down. And when you're able to extend it with giving charity, $1 here, $2 here, $5 here, what happened to your personality? It's growing. You become bigger than life. Another thing that we're doing on Purim, we're doing something with the coin, with the silver coin called machatzit shekel. When you're elevating the coin, and through that, you're receiving the energy of health, that you can receive health for the rest of the year. So that night is basically taking care of every problem you can imagine. But because in the tradition, it becomes kind of a story, Haman, Mordechai, Esther, which it's not exactly happening in Purim. Those of you who know the history, you should know more about Nisan. I'm not here to make your head blow. But just to let you know, that event in Hamadan, Iran, took place for 13 years. It was 13 years event, and we read it like that in one night. We read it like the whole story in one night. 13 years, people were scared and suffer. 13 years. And in one night, everything changed. And what we celebrated that night, if you have issue, and God forbid you don't, I hope you don't, but if you have something that truly doesn't work for you, things which are blocked, things which are not moving to any negative direction, make sure that you are coming to that night with the consciousness of changing something. Because the change itself has to start from within. So everything about life is to be able to see the good in you. If you're not able to see the good in you, it will be super difficult to move to the next level. If you cannot see the good in yourself, even if God want to give you the gift, it will be difficult. It's written in the Talmud that God said to the people, He say, En arur midabek bebaruch. God said, I need you to know, I am blessed, I am baruch. If you feel bad about yourself, you feel arur. Arur means curse. I cannot connect to you. I'm going to wait here until you will feel blessed. Once you feel blessed, I promise I will come next to you. Unfortunately, when you study a lot of time religion or spirituality, the education is different. You got to beat yourself up so bad until God will come and visit you. The study shows something totally different. It's a welcome, Shai. So it's good. So the study shows totally a different direction. And the direction is you must see the good in yourself for the Creator to come closer to you. So if there is one thing about you that you don't like, do you have one thing that you gotta kick it out? You have one thing you don't like about yourself. Please, before next week, before Monday, make a list about the thing that you don't like about yourself. And every shot of drink that you're gonna make, we're gonna sit and you're gonna assign either me or somebody else, we're gonna sit and we're gonna go at that thing and we're gonna get rid of that negative thing about you. It's enough. enough with that. So we're going to do Purim with the right consciousness, not just, drinking and celebrating. My friend asked me, how was Purim, all this? I said, I don't know. We're going to drink, say the Megillah, and then I don't know what's happening next. I never know with Purim where it's going. I have no idea where things are going. Usually we are here, we're in the Megillah, and then people are coming and they dress weird, and putting all kind of costume. I don't even know who is the people when they walk in, not wearing the glasses and wearing different masks. And I love it. I'm not against it. I love the idea they come up with all kind of imaging, and the purpose. It's beautiful because it makes people laugh. It make you laugh. The idea is, I like myself. You have to get into a place you like yourself. Now, is that dangerous for the ego? What ego? Wow. What ego? If you think you have ego, that's even an ego. You really think you have ego? I love to hear about it. If you think you really have ego about what exactly? About what? Some people might have ego. Let's say if we take 5,000 people in the world, they should have ego. I don't think I am one of those 5,000. Okay, I didn't do yet something. Woo! That's it. That I have now a pills that if you take it, you live forever. Do you have that pills? I don't have it. I mean, they still find it in the corona disease. They don't even know where it's come from, what to do. And what is the ego? What is the ego? What does the ego even look like? So I hear some people, some spiritual leaders say, work on your ego. Work on your ego. What ego? It's a joke. Our ego is like a joke. It's like a walking joke. Our ego is that small. We think our ego is big. Even to think you have ego, that's an ego. To think you have an ego, that's an ego. I mean, please, show me your ego. That's the ego. I remember this guy tried to impress me, came here, when my son was here, and he tried to impress me. I mean, can you imagine to fly all the way from Dubai to impress me? Why not? Let's try. So he came with the SUV. I didn't even know they make SUV. Lamborghini. You heard about it? Lamborghini start make. Oh, you knew? I didn't know. So Lamborghini SUV. and I played my son, being very naive, very different than me. And I said, what do you talk about? Well, what is it? And my son whispered in my ears, it's a Lamborghini SUV. I say, I know, but I have to help him here, okay? So that's it? That's all what you got? I mean, is it the best one? Always when somebody start to have ego, don't crush their ego. Always show them there is more. Once you see there is more, all of a sudden your ego becomes smaller. I'm traveling with that guy in a private jet. It's a little bit, the chair, small. And then I ask him, is it a G6? I don't know if you know the term G6. G6 is like, it's like one of the biggest private jet. So, how many bathroom you got? Only, I mean, it's better than commercial. And the person look at me like, well, all of a sudden you put in a position that it's no longer, you're defending yourself. So ego, about what? About your private jet, about your name being on a paper, about what you've, ego. You want to have ego? Please have ego. Please go ahead and have ego. Have it. You will see that it will last for 5 minutes. That's it. Having ego. Don't worry about the ego anymore. In our generation, ego is not a problem. So do me a favor. Don't work on your ego. Work on the other end of the ego. Meaning, look at what's great about you. You are great. You're a great spiritual person. Develop that part. Forget about that part, that what's wrong with you. Those days are over. We are not even in that level to work on the ego. We're not there yet. We're not there. We're not in the time of Moses. Moses, the Tanaim, they were a giant of spirituality. So they can have ego. If you would be Moses, I understand. You got to work on your ego. You got to work on your ego. Can we even be, my friend used to tell me, when we studied together from the Zohar, he used to tell me, Eliyahu, why we merit to have all this knowledge? So he came up with the idea. I said, I don't know. So he came up with the idea. I think I was the fly that stopped Moses from study one day. So because I was a fly, they gave me the merit in the next lifetime to reincarnate as a person who allowed to study. Think about us. I mean, we are simple people. We're good people. We have the ups and downs. We have normal thing of growth. So don't judge yourself, please. Not in the month of Adar, specifically not in this month. Not also next month, please. Because as we're coming to Purim, you got to see the good in you. You got to see the good. That's why there is 2 fish in Adar. You have two fish, the fish that go in the wrong direction and the right direction. Don't ask me which one go in the right or the wrong. Don't know. One of them go in the wrong direction. So find the good in you, please. I want you to please close your eyes before we finish. And we would like truly, even if sometimes we feel we don't deserve, we have to ask for Moses to help us, truly to help us, to guide us. Please, Moses, please, Moshe Rabbeinu, guide us, help us to make better choices, to be surrounded with the right people, and to find the really inner soul of ourselves, how beautiful it is. To always we will be able to see how beautiful soul we have. So we will never forget that our soul is so beautiful. And through that, I can share and help more people. Wonderful. I want to thank everybody for coming. May this day, Moses will stay with us for the rest of the year. And next week, those of you who want to join us, it will be a lot of simcha, it will be a lot of happiness here. Those of you who know how to dance, make sure don't come with high heel, so you can dance with sneakers. Those who have backyard, so you can dance there too. We're allowed, right, Debbie?
Yes.
We're allowed. Okay, yeah. I'm asking for everything. Thank you so much, people.